Hi everybody, welcome to another literacy lesson. We're going to start off today with our vocab masterclass. So this is the one where we look at a word in a big depth, in great detail. Okay? Ready? Today's word is fire. I'll say it, you can say it. Fire. Fire. Perfect, well done. Now you might be thinking, I know what fire is, Miss Mannion. Why are we doing this? Well, we're learning a different meaning of the word fire today. So you'll just have to wait and see. Let's break this word down into syllables. Ready to clap? Fire. 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 It's got one syllable. Well done, everybody. So this word, fire, means to shoot something at someone. Okay? So you're shooting something at someone. That could be words, it could be an object, it could be a football. So I've got a cannon here which fires a ball towards enemy ships. And I've also got some phonics flashcards because we fire the phonics questions at you really quickly when we show you our flashcards. So it's shooting something at someone and the word is fire. So I'm sure you've guessed it. Fire is a verb. What is it? It's a verb. Fantastic. What's a verb? Tell somebody in the room. Brilliant. A verb is an action word. So it's something that we do. So you fire a cannonball at someone or you fire some phonics flashcards at somebody. I've got an example sentence for you now. I am going to fire 5 maths questions at you, said the teacher. I am going to fire 5 maths questions at you, said the teacher. Now it's your turn. Can you come up with a sentence that uses the word fire, but not fire as in the fire in the oven or the fire in the trees or on the house? Fire like I will fire something at you. Think of a sentence and tell somebody in the room. Brilliant, well done everybody. So I've got a couple of different example sentences here. Messi fired a shot into the net. There he is, Messi firing a shot into the net. Messi fired. What have I added as a suffix to the word fire? Fantastic, I've added the letter D onto the end. What do we know about words that end in ED? Brilliant, well done. They are past tense verbs. So Messi fired a shot into the net. John was firing insults at his sister. There he is, insulting his sister, saying not very nice things to her. What suffix is on the end of fire this time? Brilliant, ing. You can see that when I've added the suffix ing to the word fire, the E has disappeared. Sometimes we do that when we add ing onto the end of words that end with the letter E. Synonyms and antonyms. A synonym means something that's the same or similar, and an antonym means the opposite. So words that are similar to fire, you could say launch. I fire questions at the pupil. I launch questions at the pupil. I shoot questions at the pupil. I hurl questions at the pupil. I throw questions at the pupil. Lots of different synonyms for the word fire. Let's recap the word. What's the word? Brilliant, fire. What does the word fire mean? Tell somebody in the room. Fantastic. The word fire means shoot something at someone. And can you put the word fire in a sentence? Fantastic. I will fire 5 questions at you, said the teacher. So that's our vocab masterclass done. Well done, everybody. What has happened in the story? Tell somebody in the room what happens in the story, Jim and the Beanstalk. What is it about? Well done. Jim and the Beanstalk is about a boy called Jim who climbs up a beanstalk and helps out a giant. Jim and the Beanstalk is a what? To the fairy tale, and the Beanstalk. What do we call it when one book follows on from another book? Well done, it's a sequel. It follows on. And what story does it follow on from? Jack and the Beanstalk. Well done. We are going to be writing our own sequel to Jack and the Beanstalk, just like Jim and the Beanstalk, but we're going to have our own character and we're going to choose some different things to happen in the story. So let's start off by creating a new character. You might have seen, if you've been on the website already, a sheet that looks like this. Okay, well actually it looks like this. Okay? And we're going to talk about what we want to call our character. Okay, so that's the small one, and the big one is the giant. First thing is we're going to decide what we want to call them. Okay, if you've got the sheet, you might want to write it straight onto your sheet. If you've not been able to print it off, don't worry. You can just write down and draw a picture of your character on a piece of paper. So I am going to call my character something beginning with the letter J, just like in the story Jack and the Beanstalk and Jim and the Beanstalk. What are you going to call your character? I have decided to call mine Jess. Write the name of your character on your sheet. Fantastic. Now what you can do is you can draw your character. I'm not going to be able to draw my character very well because she's on the screen and it's quite hard to draw on the screen. But there she is. This is Jess. So this is my character. I've thought about what I wanted to look like. If you've got coloured pencils at home, you might want to decide what colour hair they've got. What clothes are they wearing? Are they wearing pyjamas? Does the story happen whilst they're in their pyjamas? Does it happen whilst they're in their school uniform? How does it happen? Remember, back in that first lesson, we saw a picture of the beanstalk growing outside of Byron Wood. Maybe yours is about a character who goes to school at Byron Wood and sees the beanstalk outside of school. Fantastic. So, in Jim and the Beanstalk, the giant got really, really old. When you get older, your body begins to slow down and things are harder to do. That's why the giant couldn't read very well, lost his teeth, and lost his hair. What I want you to think about now is what's going to happen to your giant, your old giant. What are they struggling to do? What things is your character going to do to help him? Is he going to struggle to hear, so he needs a hearing aid to help him hear better? Is he going to have a long, scraggly beard that he just can't shave? Does he need a razor to help him shave his beard? Does he struggle to walk? Does he need a walking stick or a Zimmer frame to help him walk? You decide. And then on your sheet, you can write the different things that they need. So my character was called Jess. And I would have a picture of Jess there. My giant needs. What is he going to need? Is he going to need a hearing aid, a walking stick, a razor to shave his beard, a Zimmer frame or a wheelchair to help him walk? Is he going to need a pet because he's really lonely? What do you think? You can use the word map to help you, and I want you to either cut and stick your ideas onto the sheet or draw them, or write them, sorry. So I've decided that my giant is going to need a hearing aid, a walking stick, and a pet, because I like the idea of getting him a pet dog to keep him company. And you can also draw what your giant looks like. You might even want to draw him with the walking stick that you're going to get for him and the hearing aid that you're going to get for him too. So once you've drawn your characters, the next step is going to be to plan your story. Just like what we did yesterday, you're going to write a sentence in each of these boxes about what happens with your character in that story. You might want to use the one that you had from yesterday to help you. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do mine to help you when you do yours. So in Jim and the Beanstalk, Jim wakes up and sees the beanstalk growing outside of his house. In my story, I'm going to say that Jess sees the beanstalk growing outside of Byron Wood School. Jess sees Jess saw a beanstalk growing outside of Byron Wood School. And that's it. That's the first thing that happens in the story. Jess saw a beanstalk growing outside of Byron Wood School. Then what happened? Well, I'm going to think about what happened in Jim and the Beanstalk next, and then that's going to help me decide what's going to happen with my character. So in Jim and the Beanstalk, Jim met the giant in his castle and he went inside. Where is your giant going to live? In a castle in the clouds? Where did your beanstalk go to? Think about this now. Fantastic. So in my story, I've decided that there's still going to be a castle in the clouds where the giant lives. So I'm going to say, Jess met a giant in a castle at the top of the beanstalk. Full stop. One sentence explaining what happens. Then what did she do? I'm going to look back at my plan. She's going to help him with a hearing aid, then a walking stick, and then a pet. In Jim and the Beanstalk, he helps him get his glasses first. In my story, Jess is going to help him get his hearing aid first. So Jess helped the giant find a hearing aid. In Jim and the Beanstalk, the giant needs glasses so that he can read his poetry book. I'm going to say that Jess helped the giant find a hearing aid so that he could listen to music. What's going to happen in yours? Then Jess is going to get a walking stick to help him walk. So Jess helped the giant get a walking stick so that he could walk faster. And the last thing that Jess did to help him was get him a pet. Jess helped the giant buy a pet. Ooh, I wonder what pet she could get him. I think a dog. Jess helped the giant buy a pet dog so that he wouldn't be lonely. Fantastic. So I'm going to read through my story now. Jess saw a beanstalk growing outside of Byron Wood School. Jess met a giant in a castle at the top of the beanstalk. Jess helped the giant find a hearing aid so that he could listen to music. Jess helped the giant get a walking stick so that he could walk faster. Jess helped the giant buy a pet dog so that he wouldn't be lonely. And that is it. That is my whole story. What you're going to do is complete your plan for your story now, just like I've done. If you're doing the 3-star challenge, you're going to write on this sheet. You can use your little plan to help you, the one with the pictures on of your characters. What happens at each part in the story? Write 1 sentence. If you're doing the 2-star challenge, you've already got some of the words written in for you. So what you need to do is think about what's missing. Looked outside and saw a Who looked outside? What's your character called? Well, mine is called Jess, but yours might be called something different. But that is what I would write in my gap. Jess looked outside and saw a what? What was outside? A beanstalk. Fantastic. Jess is a girl, so I'm going to cross out he. She decided to... What did she decide to do? She decided to climb it, didn't she? At the top of the beanstalk, there was what? What was at the top? A castle? A house? In mine, it's a castle. At the top of the beanstalk, there was a castle. In the castle, there lived a giant. Jess helped him to get what? What does it say on your little plan? Mine says a hearing aid, but maybe you chose something different. Jess helped him to get a hearing aid. Jess helped him to get a razor. Jess helped him to get a Zimmer frame. You decide. And then for the 1-star challenge, you have got the jumbled up sentences. On this one, with the little star and the person on it, that's for your character's name. So if you've decided to call your character Jess, or John, or Joe, whatever you've decided to call them, you are going to write it on the one with the little star. So mine is called Jess. And then we need to unjumble the sentence into these boxes. So in this box, I might stick the one that says Jess, or I might just write the word if I can't cut and stick. Jess, orange for verbs, climbed up the blue one must go here, but that means something needs to go in the pink one. Well, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated than last time. You have got these to help you. Okay? These are called determiners. You're going to use those to fill in the pink boxes, decide whether or not you're going to use a or the. Which one makes sense? Jess climbed up a beanstalk. Jess climbed up the beanstalk. Which one do you think? I'm going to say a. Jess climbed up a beanstalk, and that's my sentence sorted. Next one. Jess giant met. Jess met a giant. Jess met a giant. These sentences are a lot longer. Jess helps the giant find what? Jess helped the giant find a hearing aid, a walking stick, a razor, a Zimmer frame, a wheelchair, or a pet. In mine, she helps him find a hearing aid. And that is how you're going to fill it in. I can't wait to see what your plans are for your stories. Make sure you keep hold of these because in tomorrow's lesson, we're going to act them out. Exciting. So make sure you know what happens in your story. You're really clear about what happens. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody.